Well, hey everybody. Well, I am on the road once again. I'm heading to Washington, D.C. for the student tour season. And I decided, of course, to stop off at a gravesite. But this one is of the gravesite of Dan Bullock, who was the youngest American killed in Vietnam. And he ended up actually joining the Marines whenever he was 14 years old. He had a doctored birth certificate. Story goes is that his mom had died a few years earlier. His dad remarried. They moved to New York, and I guess things weren't working out too well for him there, and he wanted something of a better life. And so he decided that he wanted to fight for his country in Vietnam. And so he joined the Marines. He managed, like I said, he managed to get a birth certificate that was doctored up, and but he was sent to Vietnam shortly thereafter. And in 1968, he was sent there, and eventually, just within 3 weeks of him actually arriving, he was killed in action. And so he became the youngest Marine killed, or the youngest of our soldiers killed in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. And so I want to show you his gravesite, so I'm going to turn it around here. So this is where Dan Bullock is laid to rest. And so, of course, they identify him as the youngest American killed in action in the Vietnam War. And I often tell this story to my students that are on the tour with me. But this is the first time I've actually visited the gravesite. But anyway, Dan, he joined the Marines. Like I said, he joined the Marines whenever he was 14, and then he was killed in Vietnam at the age of 15. But this grave was unmarked for about 30 years, and his people that served with him, they knew where he was, his family knew where he was, but there was no proper gravestone that was put up. And so unfortunately, this was unmarked for all those years. But strangely enough, there was a movement around 2000 to really honor the memory of Dan here in the town. And so they raised up the money to get this dedicated. Now, strangely enough, it was a talk show host. If you all remember Sally Jesse Raphael, Sally Jesse Raphael had heard about the story and felt that he definitely needed a proper gravestone, and so she actually put up the money to have this put up. So, but Dan's mom is laid to rest right behind him, and also his grandmother is there as well. So it is nice that they finally have paid him the proper respects. He is on the Vietnam War Memorial, and I forget where exactly he is, but I've seen his name. So yes, yeah, you remember the red glasses for Sally Jesse? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I read anyway. I kind of had to do a double take whenever I read that about her being involved in this, but apparently some of the people that Dan had served with, they had been really at the forefront of trying to get something put up here. So there's actually an historical marker in town too, that there was a long process to get put up in his honor that I'm going to try to